Oh,
Oops.
what was that?
Beer. Sparkling, golden, pure, refreshing.
Oh, hey, now come on. Hang on now. Can't we just settle this over a pint? No. All right, then. Come on!
Beer is chilled now, and Ingrid serves it in the traditional manner, from a pitcher with a garland of greenery. Mmm.
These guys find the kind of relaxation and release they need in a cold glass of beer. For them, only beer does it.
Grandpa's telling tales of yore. Bruce Q talks about comics more. Norm's got jokes that we adore. Hawk's our mascot, hear it roar. 3BeerMen drinking in the streets, laughing like there's no tomorrow. Hawk's loud score praising the bars, filled with joy, never sorrow. Grandpa's got his old school tricks, Bruce Q's latest adventure and more. Norm with laughs that'll mix, Hawk circles watch him soar. Beer cans clinking, stories unfold. Nights like these are pure gold. These memories bold, never sold. In twilight's glow time behold. Everyone needs a night like this, full of stories can't be missed. Simple joys, pure bliss. In each sip, there's a twist. Men drinking in the streams, laughing like there's no tomorrow. Hawks loud spark raising the bars, filled with joy, never sorrow. 3BeerMen drinking in the streams, laughing like there's no tomorrow. Hawks loud spark raising the bars, filled with joy, never sorrow. Grandpa's got his old school tricks, Bruce Q's latest adventure and more. Norm with laughs that'll mix, Hawk circles watch him soar. Beer cans clinking, stories unfold. Nights like these are pure gold. These memories bold, never sold. In twilight's glow time behold. Everyone needs a night like this, full of stories can't be missed. Simple joys, pure bliss. In each sip, there's a twist. In each sip, there's a twist.
Howdy, howdy, everybody, and may the 4th be with you on this wonderful May 4th day. I hope everyone is well, and welcome to Cozy AF with 3BeerMen. Tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun with you guys. You're welcome to join us and hang around, see what we've got to offer. Let's just say hello to everybody first. We'll head over to our buddy Norm.
Howdy, howdy.
Oh, I was waiting for the Norm!
Yeah.
I was actually keeping an eye on the green room there. I'm just watching. Hawk has flown in, but we are waiting for Hawk to get his picture stabilized.
All right. Sounds like a
As soon as
plan.
Hawk gets his picture stabilized, we will bring Hawk in too.
Sounds good. Why don't you tell everybody what you're drinking tonight, Norm?
I'm drinking one from Paperback. I try to find a space theme one since the only Star Wars themed beer I can't seem to get here. But I found one called Dead Space by Paperback Brewing. So I always
Very
have
cool.
interesting interesting beers.
And
But
interesting labels. I love their covers of their beers.
yeah, a guy named Chris Sesnick does those. He's one of the owners of the brewery.
Oh, very cool.
He's a
And thank you, Zoso Dude, for the raid. Loving that. Great. Thank you, good sir. Appreciate you.
so all right. So this is a New England or a hazy style IPA, and they do so many IPAs it's hard to keep up with how many they do over there. That's kind of their thing. So as you can see, pretty hazy. I do have to say, the hops are strong in this one. The hops. So,
and we
so
just got notification that Zoso Dude is going to be going half an hour later tonight. And thank you for the cookie, the can, good sir. We do appreciate you. So we've got a half hour extra time to make up for if we need it. So
That's
that's
quite all
cool.
right. We've got plenty of stuff to cover tonight, both in terms of Bruce on the Loose and the holiday. So we got plenty to go
Absolutely.
over.
yeah.
And
So
Squawk just indicated that he is still ruffling the feathers there. So we'll
We'll
we're,
keep
we're
going.
still working on that, but we'll keep going. Yep.
All right. So let's throw it over to you, Cosmic, and let's see your new shirt and see what you're wearing there. I find the lack of beer disturbing. There you go.
That's my Star Wars shirt. I actually have a one that I like even better that says "Come to the dark side, we have beer," but I wore that one so many times throughout the course of owning the brewery and washed it so many times that it's faded now to where half the letters are gone and it's
Oh,
it's
okay. That's
yeah, but
funny.
that was my favorite. I thought about wearing my Jedi robe, my hooded Obi-Wan robe, but I don't have any hats that work with that. I mean, it's just the hood at that point. Then,
At
so
that point,
I,
it's just the hood.
yeah.
I was
But
gonna
I've worn that one on the show anyway. So
I was gonna wear this one,
Clone Wars. There you go.
but I've worn that one a lot. So Kitty gave me her hoodie to wear.
There you go.
So
nice.
with
And being that I'm in
open.
Florida, I didn't bring anything with me for May 4th. I wasn't paying attention, but I did receive this today at the oddity fair I went to today. So may the 4th be with you, everyone. Well, let's jump over to Cosmac and see what he's drinking tonight.
All right. Well, with it being the first show in May, the first thing I did was go looking for a Maibach, which I've covered on the show before. That's a Maybach beer. At my old brewery, we used to brew a Maibach called Pandemonium. It was the strongest regular seasonal by ABV that we brewed. But I couldn't find any sign that Penn Brewery released Pandemonium this year. So I don't know. I have to give them a call and find out. But so my second thought, for lack of that, was with today being Cinco de Mayo Eve, was to go pick up a Mexican import, maybe a Tecate or a Dos Equis. But when I saw this, it instantly struck me as perfect for the May 4th holiday. This is not your father's root beer.
I am your father.
It's just boom, just like that.
That's great.
Not,
That's great.
And
not
it's
your father's
dark.
beer, Luke.
You could mistake it for a dark beer.
Yes, you could.
But I've had it on the show before, so I won't spend a lot of time talking about it. 6% ABV and really, really tasty. I mean, it tastes just like root beer. It is really easy to overdo this. And I
Oh
plan to.
yeah,
So
I've had my fair share of those, and Hawk actually helped me out with that the last time when he sent me his own. But how does it taste?
oh, I love it. But again, unlike beer, you're tempted to just keep drinking and drinking and drinking. It's
Oh
almost like a
yeah,
soda, you know. You don't want
Overindulge. Yeah,
oh yeah,
way overindulge.
indeed, indeed. All right, very good. So I don't know if I've had this on the show before, Cosmac. You're going to have to help me out. It's Duke's Brown Ale. It's Duke's from Bold City Brewery. Bold City Brewery is in Jacksonville, Florida. It says this end up, so it wants you to store the can upside down. It doesn't say what the ABV is, though. BoldCityBrewery.com is the website. Brewed and canned in Bold City Brewery, Jacksonville, Florida. And no ABV. So 12 fluid ounces is all it says. But it's a brown ale. And of course, being down here in Florida, I've got my Tebow glass, which is not Star Wars themed. But I did pick up something Star Wars themed today while we were at the Oddity Festival. I was going to do a Bruce on the Loose segment about that, but we have so much Bruce on the Loose today that I didn't really go crazy with it. But I'm going to show this anyway because I found this really cool thing. This is actually a 3-dimensional picture of. Can you see it, Cosmac, or is it?
Yeah.
yeah, it's coming through. We can see it.
Okay. And it looks like the Millennium Falcon is going into warp speed. So I picked this up today at the festival, and really cool piece. And they're the ones who gave me the May the 4th be with you. So very cool. Had a lot of fun today, just hanging out, and we sold some of our own stuff today, Elvia's. But we're gonna pour this little baby right here, and it looks more like a yellowish ale than a brown ale, and it's all foaming head right now. You can't see this, but let me see if I can do this. It's a lot lighter, I guess, because the light's bearing down on it directly. It's more of a it's almost like an amber ale, really. So we shall see, but I'm gonna pour this off here. Let's see if that foamy head doesn't go down a little bit. Wow, not what I expected. It's a little bit on the sweeter side, actually. The Enterprise goes into warp. The Falcon goes into hyperspace. Thanks, appreciate it, pops.
Get your
I
Jedi
guess
mind
I'm-
meld right.
Yeah,
I guess I'm
yeah,
just yeah.
yeah. Whatever
Jedi
you do,
mind
don't
meld.
go. May the force be with you to somebody, because they don't seem to.
May the What, Return of the Fifth.
They don't seem to get the joke. But
No, they don't. That's all right. It's all good. But yes, that was actually really good. It was a little bit on the sweeter side, which I didn't expect. But had to dab the mustache there.
they're well, it looks very malty, and malty beers can be sweet. Uh,
It
Yeah.
probably is more of the malted uh,
well, the color,
flavor,
the color,
the color as well as the taste.
yeah, but
I'm still trying to find the ABV on this puppy, but I got to be honest with you, I don't see it. About Duke's Cold Nose Brown Ale, a mild brown ale named after Duke, the owner's late beloved boxer. This local favorite has hints of chocolate and caramel with a smooth, nutty finish, a well balanced, flavorful brown ale that's perfect for any time of year. So there's the sweetness. It's got that chocolate and caramel, which is exactly what it tasted like on the sweet end. So very cool. Named after Duke, the owner's boxer.
Indeed, it's actually referred to here as Duke's Cold Nose Brown Ale.
Um, yeah, it just says. Oh, it does say cold nose. You know what?
Yeah.
It's hand scripted in
Yep.
very small letters, so it says Duke's Cold Nose Brown Ale.
you're
Yes,
not
indeed.
millennial. You should be able to still read hand scripted stuff.
Yeah,
Millennial,
I can, but I wasn't paying attention to it.
I only realized it when you said it was named after his dog, and then I saw Cold Nose, and it made the connection for me.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah, 6%, by the way.
Oh, okay. 6%. So, like what I used to
Not too
travel to.
dangerous.
What I used to travel to Canada for when I was back in college, the Canadian Molson Bredors, which was 6.3 or 6.4.
mine's 6.5 actually. So
Okay, so
okay,
you're right. You're right
everyone.
there with me. And be careful of that. Your father's old root beer.
Yeah,
What's the
it's not
ABV
the
of-
ABV here. It's the tendency to just chug it.
the
Right,
sweetness.
creep up on you.
Sweetness.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, Death is in the house. So let me jump over to the chats. We want to save you.
Wait,
We want to save Facebook for last.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw it at you guys to let
You
you.
mean film? Did you say Facebook?
I did say Facebook, didn't I? And I'm not even stoned. I don't understand it today. You know what it is? I am tired. Dude, I've been working. I've been working all week long, just here in the house and getting things done. And then I wound up. We spent literally the whole weekend. Yesterday we spent the whole day out. Thank you, yeah, boy, Death. Appreciate your can on pill.net. So I got all this great footage that we'll be looking at some of later this afternoon, and I stayed up till like almost 4 a.m. editing the videos. Thanks to Zoso dude who taught me how to use Kime, this new app that's like I'm an amateur at this, so I'm really like trying very hard to figure this shit out every day, and I got probably like 6 videos edited down and took out all the junk that I needed to. And I was so tired, I finally fell asleep with my phone next to me while I was trying to send something to the Telegram for us to be able to download for the show tonight. And then we went out and did a festival today. So I'm shot. And it's not from anything other than just lack of sleep. No drinking, no smoking. I'm just shot. So forgive me, ladies and gentlemen, if I keep slipping up today like that. So I apologize. But I digress. Norm, what chats you got out there to read? Go for it.
I got most of them up. The Rumble, only have myself and Madness Comic Network. And speaking
Okay.
of Madness Comic Network, we do have the YouTube over at Madness Comic Network, Madness Entertainment Group, I should say, who has
Which is one and the same.
Yeah, George Lucas is over there. Say, so hi, George. Uh, it, it, I don't think that's really him or the same one, although it has his picture. So we have Deepak, Deepak Shakur is over there, and I believe Deepak was somewhere else. But I also have the Odyssey up. Nobody's over there yet, but yep. So yeah, George. Yeah, hey, gr- yeah, no cow. Me too. Grew up in Modesto, right in the same neighborhood.
Indeed.
Yeah, I know you grew up right on Ramona over there. I know exactly where your old house is. So,
There
cheers,
you go. Nice to
hometown,
have you with us, George. Cheers.
hometown boy here.
All right. Well, that brings us over to D Live. It's kind of quiet over there tonight, but we do have our very favorite regulars over there. Starting with Bad Bad Zoot first in tonight. Val Kimber and TL Spud, as always. And by the way, Val Kimber is going to be dropping a new song tonight on his show, Val underscore Kimber on D Live at 11:30 Eastern. After Zoso Dude, which is after us. So tune in to the Val Kimber show tonight and check out Val's new drop at 11:30 Eastern. Also, we have with us tonight Willie Fix It. Always good to see you, Willie. Dropping some lemons on us there. Jayla17. Uh, Pops is here, Madness Comic Network. John Rogers and Peggy Dancer. Great to see you all.
Very cool. Very cool. So we bump over to pill.net, the foxhole.app. And of course, we've got Menace Comic Networks, Ghost Pepper. Good to see you out there, Ghost Pepper. Zoso Dude rated our channel with Joanne Porch, Dave Mack, CL Goober. Good to see you, girl. We got Bronchi Cowgirl, Trashman Green, Tawanda, Ben Q Lurkin, Cisco Kid, DW'd, Prairie Fire. Good to see you, Prairie Fire. Madness Comic Network again. Zoso Dude Maz, Lady Haran, and it looks like that. Oh, Spazzo
Oh,
Yeti. Good to see you.
he
And
just
of
dropped
course,
this can.
Yahboy Death. He just dropped a can too. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Between Yahboy Death, Zoso Dude, and Spazzo Yeti. Cans are flowing in. All right, very good.
And Yabo Death, has your beers drinking been relieved yet? Because that's one good use for the can. After so many beers, you have to go to go to your can to relieve yourself from all those cans. So, so
And
that's
it looks like maybe we have some of those technical issues worked out. Squawk, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you, Squawk. Can you hear me?
All right.
Oh, 5x5.
yep.
Flying high. Good to hear you, Hawk. Welcome
Squawk,
home.
Squawk. Good to hear you too. Good to be back, fellas.
All right. So,
What are you drinking tonight, Hawk?
Actually, I'm just mellow drinking cherry Coke. No Jack Daniels this time.
All right. All right. John Rogers, how you doing, brother? Good to see you out there.
that we have a hawk sighting. So,
Yep. The Hawk
yeah,
sighting.
I had a hawk sighting
Allegedly.
this week too, actually, in the backyard. I had a little excitement back there that I'll get to here after this week in beer, and yeah, the it was a little fun for the Hawks too, but they came out of it better than we did. So,
Yeah, it's hard to get the better end of a hawk. Usually we, you know, tip the scales a little bit.
indeed.
Almost
Also,
hit
we
one the other day. One almost flew right into the truck. It was wild. This thing came out of nowhere, out of my blind side, and just swooped right in front of us and took off. Elvius screamed. I jerked the wheel, thank God, like nobody coming in the other direction because I did wind up in the other lane. But holy crap. It's like he came down, he went looking for something, picked something up, and then made a high, hard right, literally right in front of us. So it was crazy. He must have been picking up something out of the grass. Didn't
That
even see him coming.
that's actually happened to me quite a few times. At least he didn't poop on your car.
No, he just barely got squashed by the car. He almost got squashed by it. I would have been very upset had that happened. So thank you for veering off. All right. This week in Hawks. Yes, indeed. All right. So, Cosmac, why don't you take us into this week in beer?
All right. Well, let me see if I can make that work. All right. Well, I'll get into my personal news here a little bit later, but first, I thought that we had a big announcement in beer news this week. This showed up in my Twitter feed this week, literally saying the Bud Light saga has cost Anheuser-Busch dearly after more than 2 years of uh, waning sales and decreasing demand. The company was forced to shut down its iconic St. Louis brewery. And I thought, oh boy, now there is a news story. Um, but of course, it turned out to be fake news. Uh, Bud has not shut down their St. Louis plant. It's so the rumors of Bud's demise is greatly exaggerated.
That's a shame.
Okay.
That's a shame. I would have liked to have seen them take a hit hard and go down hard. But
Yeah.
alas, it was an April Fool's joke on May 1st. So I guess
On
they
Mayday.
missed their month on May Day, right? I think they're a month behind.
Oh, I I misread what Yabu Dice was saying. Not relieved, but revealed. Yeah, my beer is Dead Space. So sorry, I misread that. Relieve. I was thinking the can.
Yeah. Indeed. But a bit of news that is not satire, actually, is that it is the start, officially the start of the summer blockbuster movie season. And it is turning out so far to be more bust than block. Well, except for Minecraft, which is all blocks, of course. Um, but this was the one that I saw that got my attention here. This is a great new idea by Warner, a big announcement by Warner Brothers. They've got this new idea for something they're calling block parties, where audiences come to the movie in the theaters and participation with the movie is encouraged. And I was just laughing my ass off when I read that because, I'm guessing that none of the people who are old enough to play Minecraft are old enough to have ever attended a midnight showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's
I, I
exactly what I was
I was
thinking.
just gonna say it's like heckling the screen and everything. It's like
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
used to have like a poster of Rocky of all the items you should bring, like rice and
Yeah.
toast and
Exactly.
Rice, a squirt bottle or a squirt
toast
gun,
or
newspaper, toast. You got to
yeah,
have your toast.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
like
So they thought this was such a great revolutionary idea, and I'm just thinking, yeah, it's you would be in millennials. You've never been to see Rocky Horror Picture, have you?
whatever happens to Saturday night.
There you go.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. So, and
That's
by the way,
funny.
just to follow up, I did see right before the show that apparently the reviews for the new Thunderbolts, the Marvel movie, on Rotten Tomatoes are really, really good. Like 86% critics, 97% audience. They're rating it as a really, really great movie. And
Didn't
yet it's coming in just behind the Eternals right now at the box office. It's
because
not
people are
translating
so
into people going to see the movie.
The
yeah,
buzz
because
is
people are so sick of Marvel and the stupidity
well,
they've been pulling.
the buzz here is like I can feel the fakeness in the buzz, and it's almost like they want to believe, like a Peter Pan sort of thing, um, or something. I don't know. They want to believe that it's going to be a good movie. It's a weird, false, like. Yeah, they're like saying it's a good movie, but and then they in the same breath they say it's not that bad. Like, it's one or the other. It's
But I got to tell you, I've seen some reviews also, and the fan base, much like myself, being the superhero centric person that I am, finding it to be really well done. James Gunn, I think, is the producer again on this one,
director.
director, and he's kind of done with Thunderbolt what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, and what I hope he does with Superman. So we shall see. I mean, he did Peacemaker, and for anybody who hasn't seen that yet, if you can, go watch Peacemaker. The first season, really well done. Um, it falls into that same genre as like the Deadpool movies. They don't break the fourth wall all the time like Deadpool would, but it happens to be a really good TV series. And James Gunn is now working for both Marvel and DC, and he's trying to balance the scale. So
But
we'll see what happens.
he's such a sleaze bag that he's
He
hard
is a
to.
sleaze bag, but he happens to
He
be
does good
a
movies.
very he
Yeah,
happens to be a very
talented.
creative sleaze bag.
Yeah, I know
He's
the
a pedophile through and through. We all know that.
yeah.
But you
Well,
know,
they had to fire him and then bring him back quietly.
that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it
I
is. So
yeah,
yeah,
I can't say I don't like the Guardians of the Galaxy movie because
I
or
think they're great.
the holiday special when they did the put the old 97
Kidnapping,
there. It was like
kidnapping of Kevin Bacon,
yeah, but the old 97's alien song was like with the old
right?
97 dressed up as aliens was like
That was fun.
that was
They
fun.
really, they really had a good time with that, and I'm glad they did what they did. So yeah, that
Barb,
was a good. That was also James Gunn, you
yeah.
know.
Well, Barb
And
17.
Barb 17, thank you very much.
Yep.
May the fourth be with you as well. Thank you, Norm. I saw that at the same time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all right. No, I just want to recognize it. So, but one thing that separates James Gunn from George Lucas, George Lucas really he kept to his guns up until he sold the franchise, and that was just because he was getting too old. But yeah, he sold the franchise for $8 billion and donated most of it to education. So yeah,
Okay,
if
very
you
good.
so we got Hawk again, or we don't squawk.
He's glitching in and out, but don't worry about it. He'll get it worked out. All right. So
You
there we
had
go.
you had some fun this week, didn't you, Cosmac?
I did just a little bit. You guys may or may not have seen in the news that a little bit of a storm blew through the eastern part of the country. In fact, it blew through western Pennsylvania. In fact, it blew through my backyard. And after it did, this is what my backyard looked like. There it is.
Wow.
That is what my backyard looked like. I'll just roll through the pictures there real quick.
How many trees
It
is that fell?
that's three that went down in total. Two cherries and an oak, and that's my
Oh,
back porch. I mean, that's how close it came to
Hitting the
to taking
house.
out the
Wow.
house. It actually goes past the corner of the house there. And
was
if
it
it
like
had fallen,
dominoes or
it two of them were the first one that went took the one in front of it out,
yeah?
but then the third one wasn't in any way related. It went about a minute later. It just decided to go and fall on top of the other two, like maybe it was trying to, save them or go down in
Romeo and
in
Juliet thing,
yeah,
or
Yeah.
sympathy or something,
like
sympathetic or something
uh,
along those lines. The
Wow.
and Stump, you
Did you
see
lose
over.
any? Did you lose any patio furniture?
We did. We lost some patio furniture, and if I get a little bit forward here, those are some pictures out the out the window. You can see how
Wow.
close it came. In fact, when I get to some of the next day pictures here, you'll actually see where it. Yeah, it made a mess. There's the back corner the next day, and you could see in that tangled wreck there my barbecue grill.
Oh
man.
shit! It
That's
took out the
it.
barbecue
Right.
grill.
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you're gonna have plenty of firewood though.
Yeah. Somebody is. I don't know that I
Cherry,
have the wherewithal to cut it up myself. If I did,
yeah,
Did you?
so-
Oh, so
cherry
you
and
didn't
oak.
even? Sorry, Norm. Go ahead.
No, cherry and oak make good firewood too.
You you didn't get it cut down, cut up yet?
Not yet. No, I've got. You would not believe the level of damage. There's all of the companies that do this kind of work are all still busy getting roads cleared, getting
Working for
trees
the
off of
towns.
houses and off of things. Off of.
Wow.
It's they don't. I'm officially listed as a non-emergency.
Right, because
Um,
there's nobody at in danger because of it.
yeah,
Oh,
but
looks
it's
like your
not.
gutter took a hit.
Yeah, you can just barely see there where it literally that's how close it came to
Wow.
clipping the corner of the house down. Is it took the gutter out,
Mm,
but that was like inches from the corner.
That's
Jesus.
still pretty lucky. Yeah.
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 So yeah, it looked a little better in the sunlight at least than it did in the right after the
Yeah.
storm. But yeah,
It
that
still
gives
looks
you.
pretty devastating.
That
Yeah.
gives you an idea. And then I've got a couple pictures here at the end that
Wow.
give you an
Go back to
idea
that.
to.
Go back to that one where yeah, look at that. Holy crap! Sheared it right down the center. It looks like
Yeah,
it
it
had
just.
termite and ant damage in there.
Yeah.
I think it probably was a little bit rotten in the center.
That was the oak.
If I had to suspect.
Or no, that was a
Uh,
cherry. It looks
that
like.
was one of the cherries. The oak
Yeah.
is the one on the far right here, and then one of the cherries is the one that it took down right in front of it, and then the other cherry fell down over top of it. That's the oak there, there, there. That's for scale.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's me standing next to the widowmaker that's sticking up out of the ground there,
It's
and that's
insane.
me standing next to the oak. That's
That's crazy.
and of course my crazy grandson. The first thing he did was got up and was walking back and forth across that
Across the
tree right
top of
there.
it.
Yeah, across the top, and his dad's like, you never know when it's going to take just that much weight to.
Let
Yeah.
it come all the way down.
Those
Yeah.
those would make good barrels actually for the oak and
Yeah, that's you could cut him up.
Wow. You got
Yep.
lucky,
So
Cosmac. You got lucky.
yeah, that I would say so. And it was really wild. It was a crazy storm. I mean, it blew in so fast. I don't think I still maybe I could pull it up here real quick. This was from the local news, and this is a time lapse. But I
Of the
swear
storm rolling into
it
downtown
came in
Pittsburgh. You can see
almost
all
this
the
quick.
clouds moving. Look at
It just like boom, it was there. It was a sunny afternoon, and then bang, it was just like howling wind and blinding rain, and you couldn't see 1 foot in front of you. And then we didn't even have the windows closed yet. I mean, literally, the storm had just started so quickly that we hadn't even closed the windows. And you guys weren't seeing any of that. Let me
no.
replay that again.
Play that again.
Okay, there we go. Now you guys can see it. There's how quick.
Whoa. Holy
that-
shit.
It's just
That's
like
crazy.
It just, and literally the storm was gone in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It
It
was
just blew right
completely
over you
gone.
guys.
Yeah. But
We
the mess that it left in its wake, 300,000 customers, my utility, had without power. Um, and a lot of them did not get power until this weekend.
So they
we
were out of power for a whole week.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. For
What
at
what
least 4 days.
what
Yeah.
day was that? Because yeah, we had
That
a
came through Tuesday afternoon because
okay.
Mrs. Cos doesn't work on Tuesdays, so she was home. She's sitting downstairs and she's got the back patio door open, just a screen, and the tree is like 20 feet down the yard. It's like she hears this cracking noise. It's like, holy shit, what's happening? And then when
Wow.
the other one went, it's like, when's it going to stop?
That's wild. Absolutely wild. Phew.
Madness Comic Network. Thank you for the cookie.
And he says, for the gutters.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, it's the haul out is what's going to be expensive because I'm pretty sure I'm still waiting to hear back from an adjuster, but I'm fairly certain that I know what is going to happen because it didn't do any major damage to any structures on the property. The insurance isn't going to want to pay anything, including wanting to pay to get the trees out.
Yeah.
So the lowest quote that I have right now for debris cleanup for that mess right now is 4 grand.
Holy
So
crap.
if you know anybody who wants that wood, by all means.
You've got a couple of guys that were working at the museum when we were there. I think one of those guys would be really happy to help chop up some of that wood and take it with him.
I'm, I mean,
Would
I
it be
think
enough? Did you see the
it's
amount?
Yeah. No, you'd have firewood. You'd have firewood for at least 2 years. Easy.
Yeah, still have to store it, but yeah, that's like what I'm saying. Barrels, gun stocks. I like
Yeah.
cherry wood gun stocks. They're
Too bad you don't know a milling company that would come and take it off your hands.
Yeah. Well, my son-in-law gave me a number. I'm following up on that. He said the guy came and took a tree out of his yard insanely cheap, cut it down for like $1,000 less than any other quote that he had gotten because this guy was going to take the wood and use the wood.
But
well,
So he was
if
actually
it
going to make more money off the tree
if it's
than
oak, yeah, the oak that oak would probably be worth something because oak is some of the
but it's
best. And cherry,
so there's just so much
yeah,
wood and so much debris and so many branches. It's going to be a lot of work.
yeah.
yeah.
Spaz, my buddy Spaz O'Yitty gifted 2 cans.
Gifting some gutter funds, we appreciate it very much. It'll definitely help.
Oh,
Look for
yeah.
local woodworkers, Pop says.
Yep. Look for the local word workers. Place a local ad. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
find
Man,
someone
this
who
comic
says with
network's
a
Pop's
portable
making.
sawmill.
on
So,
There you
Craigslist.
go.
You got to be careful of how you word things on Craigslist. They're going to be cutting down trees that you don't want them to cut down. If you
yeah,
don't,
right.
it's like,
Now, just the ones on the ground, guys.
yeah,
Don't put any new ones on the
it's like,
ground, you know?
Well,
Well,
just think you
and
could
that
open up the
Pops has said
backyard
place
and
a local ad, but like, and if I were completely isolated, if it were 3 trees that had fallen down in my yard, completely isolated from everything else, I would probably have people falling over to give me quotes to get them out of the yard. But if you had any idea how many trees are down right now, I'm weeks probably out on anybody's list
wow.
to get anybody freed up to get in here and do it because the amount of devastation up here was just insane. Like I said, I mentioned to Bruce the hotel that he stayed at uh, near where I live uh, uh, was kind of down in a pit with hillsides up on both sides. Both of those hillsides are just completely littered with down trees right now.
And I'm sure
And
they
that's
probably Got some water
overhanging the
damage.
roadway. So they're going to want to get those out before anybody's going to bother with my backyard.
Yeah, no
So
kidding.
yeah, so
Wow.
it's going to take a little while.
Crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Indeed. So yeah, that was this week's fun. One other minor bit of news, but it's major news for me anyway. But in addition to Cinco de Mayo being tomorrow, tomorrow is also Cosmac granddaughter's birthday.
Hey,
So
happy
you guys
birthday.
may remember Cosmac granddaughter from the original Zoso Dude picture, which actually predates this show. I took this picture and sent it to Zoso Dude all the way back in late 2020.
Look at how short the beard is and how wide your belly is at that
Yeah,
stage.
yeah, that was quite a while ago. But yeah, that was Cosmac granddaughter's first appearance, and that was on Zoso Dude before we even started doing this show. I think her first appearance on this show was actually the time that I dressed up for Halloween as the big bad wolf because she was dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood. So imagine her surprise when she came to Grandpap's house and opened the door, and there's the wolf.
The big bad wolf.
But
Too
and
funny.
I do have to admit, I still get use out of that wolf costume, as you can see there. I still there it is. I still get good use out of that costume. So
She no, but she did come to grandmother's house
yes,
Yes, she did.
to find a big bad wolf instead.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, but so I asked before the show if she had any recent cool pictures that she wanted me to show tonight, and I got these two back. So there she is on the eve of her 11th birthday, Cosmac granddaughter, doing cool things. So
Oh,
And she's the one who came with us to Steel City Con that last day.
indeed, I completely forgot about that. I have an interview where Bruce interviewed her dressed as Zelda
That's right.
from.
but
Very good.
speaking of birthdays, if you watched um, Creative Chaos, we found out there was a birthday coming up. If you watch Chaos, somebody did announce that they're gonna have a birthday pretty soon.
Oh yeah, I wonder who that is.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. I do. I heard that.
Yeah, Elvia's was on the first. Mine's coming up.
I hope.
Actually, what day of the week is it this year? Oh shit. It's next Sunday.
There we go.
And then the
All right.
Saturday after
Oh my
that,
god.
the Saturday after that, there's another one coming up.
Yeah, that's yours.
Oh, yep.
Oh.
I gotta be
And,
5x5.
And Pinata! Thank you, brother. Muchly appreciate you. Excellent. We got another raid
Indeed.
coming in from Drunk Pinata.
Yeah, and right before that, Pops asked me, why haven't we played the short with the Zelda interview yet? And honestly, I'm having a hard time pulling a short out of that because it was a little bit of a longer interview. But also, honestly, it's a tough interview because you'll be surprised to hear this, but my granddaughter is really, really mild mannered. Bruce, maybe you can speak to that a little bit more since you did the interview.
She's very shy until you really get to know her. So I had to try to pull the answers out of her. And even with Daddy right by her side and Grandpa behind the camera, she still was not really forthcoming. So it took a lot to get her to come out of her shell. But by the end of it, we got a few answers which were nice.
Yeah,
So you have to
I'll edit that one up then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Kime is easy. I can snip little segments out, but I don't have it Pops. So that's up to Cosmac to do that one because I only know how to use Kime. And that means I have to have the video, but he's got all the actual video. So she's occupied at the moment, but I'll replay this for her. All right. Thank
That's
you,
Deepak.
Deepak.
Deepak is mother of Cosmac granddaughter, who of course is my daughter. Yeah, that's so Deepak will replay this show for her so she can see that we all wished her a happy birthday.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, my dear. And hello to CDP4JC, my brothers out there.
Yeah.
Good to see you. And
As,
Jesse 81138. Good to
as
see you
well as
guys.
137 people. Was it? That's a big
We got
raid.
Mama P. We
Thank,
got Jesse
thank you.
Lee Peterson. Speak kindly.
Oh,
Stacks is in the house. Raising Cane dropped by with the raid. Earth Angel 4059. Mad Hat. Good to see you out there. Eddie Cavadas. Bell 101. Timber Jet. La Pomona. PC Native. Fixin' Time. Jim8823 at Gmail. C Blanche is in the house. Don with three N's. 330 high knows. Who knows? High O knows. I don't know. Andy Socialite. Wow, Andy Social. Good to see you. Asshead. Wang Dang Doodle. Six Hungry Dogs. Diggle Diggleocker. Okay. Talk to Jace. Cat Anonymous. Ghost Pepper's back out there again. 2080 Outdoors. Subpack Vet. Yo, brother, good to see you too.
Bruce, I don't know if you noticed, but that number's going down just as fast as you're talking. By the
All
time
right,
you
enough
get
then.
done announcing everybody will be gone.
yeah.
All right, so
Russian bot said I'm making it worse. Shit. Russian bot, it's not me.
all right.
You.
So why don't we get to the Bruce on the Loose segment we have, because we've got quite a bit of it to catch up to, unless you've got something else to throw out.
No, just a couple other quick mentions. Next Sunday is Mother's Day, in addition to being somebody's birthday, and a few other things. Let's just keep that in mind. Don't forget that it is Mother's Day, and
Call your
one
mom.
other thing.
Call your mom.
Call your mom. Yes. Absolutely.
Indeed.
And not because you're
one
in jail.
other thing that I did want to quickly mention for those who might not have seen the last Creative Chaos on Thursday, but Flip City is currently running the Flip City Draw Stream contest. And if anybody out there is interested, please go to themeg.tv and click on the link that says poll and take a look at these pieces of artwork that have been submitted for this month's Flip City Draw Stream poll.
And don't forget to vote.
Which is your inner celebrity's inner essence. And these are some pretty good ones. Amber Turd, Billy Gates, Maga Man, Brie the Cheese, Oil by Diddy. We're so far, let me refresh it. I believe we were at 69 votes at the start of the show. We are now at 78 votes. We are trying to get to 150 votes by the end of this week, 5 days from now. So if you like any of this artwork, please run out to themeg.tv and click on poll and give a vote out there for your favorite piece of art.
And some of that artwork contains lettering, and doing lettering without the help of fonts is dying. a dying art,
It's all
a dying
really
breed.
good art, and I
Yeah,
think again I would recommend checking out Madness Comic Network, particularly over on Pilled, but you can find Madness Entertainment Group over on YouTube if you tend to hang out over there. Or Madness is in lots
Rumble.
of places. Madness Comic Network is on Rumble. But yeah, definitely check them out. TheMeg.tv. You'll find some great artists over there, independent artists that are still, like you said, Norm, making art the honest way, the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. Well, doing lettering is it's a dying art form. I mean, when we're penning in the lettering because I don't, I won't get into it right now, but it's as yeah, like when all this stuff was transcribed like 2,000 years ago, they actually did the calligraphy by hand instead of the print, and now not, the print is going away into computer generated fonts, and that doing it by hand is actually
Well,
quite
the issue is how much of the art is now going into computer generated. I mean, forget about fonts. Just
well, yeah.
go out and
Art in
ask Chat
general.
GPT to draw it for you. That's
Hmm.
Very
a
true.
contentious issue over at the Madness. The independent artists, a lot of them are very adamantly opposed to the AI trend. Some of them have embraced it to a degree. So it's definitely
Just
a bit of
make
contention.
yeah, make it your bitch. Do it. Yeah, just
Well, yeah, I think
yeah,
that probably is going to be where it starts to settle. Is the people who are
yeah.
truly using it as a tool to enhance their art are probably going to be respected for it. And the people who are using it in place of being able to make their own art are going to be ridiculed for it.
You know how
And
many
that would
foot?
be me. I would be
Yeah,
using it in place of being able to make art. Uh,
that's actually kind of what I'm doing. But you know when Photoshop came out, a lot of photographers said, "Well, you could really get rid of those flaws with lighting and stuff like that." But now there's nothing in any publication that is not photoshopped or airbrush. Well, it was airbrushing before
Well,
Photoshop. Yeah.
at very minimum, it's going to be color graded by computer now.
Oh
You're
yeah.
not going to do any of that in the developer
There,
anymore like you
there,
did when I was in high school.
oh
You
yeah.
don't
Wow.
just
CMYK
film
is going
anymore,
away. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Postscript or like EPS is like held it. It was scalable and it held the color um, integrity, and now EPSs are going away where it doesn't hold. If you could do a SVG, a scalable vector graphic, it doesn't hold the
Hmm.
color integrity in print, and nobody's printing anymore. But it, I won't even get into that. But thank you, Song Chaser, for the cookie. No,
Indeed.
I
What
was
I'm
in print
thinking,
for years. I was in print for years, but I was calibrating the monitors to use reflective light versus projective light, and that's a something that nobody even knows anymore. I mean, it's
yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's a
I
dying.
just watched a really interesting piece the other day on Pantone color grading and
Hmm.
how the whole Pantone thing works. But rather than getting into too much of that,
Yeah, sorry.
we do
I,
want to
I
get into Bruce's segment. And what I'm thinking is, with 5 minutes until the midpoint of the hour and as much material as we have to cover, I'm thinking maybe the smart thing to do will be to take the intermission a couple minutes early tonight. We'll take the intermission first. And then when
That's
we come
fine.
back from the intermission, basically we have an hour and a half to dig into Bruce on the Loose because Zoso Dude isn't starting until 9:30.
9:30 Big Apple time,
Correct.
6:30 avocado time. So for anybody out there
So
that missed it earlier, Zoso Dude will be going live a half hour later in the show. And
yeah, so
Mountain
I think
Dog Boy is in the house. God bless you, brother.
and
My
Spazo
sympathies.
Yeti's dropping cans like no tomorrow.
There you go.
After Thong Chaser dropped a cookie. But yeah, Spasso Yeti, thank you for the 3 cans. You're filling up that 6-pack very fast.
Yeah, the timing worked out really good because this way, Bruce, you've got the whole second half plus to cover Bruce on the Loose tonight.
All right, sounds good. We've got quite a bit of it actually. Yesterday was a very
All right.
busy day for me.
Indeed.
So
All right.
let her rip.
All right. Well, yeah, I originally was going to kill YouTube, like I said, and play Star Wars parody music and make fun of Disney for destroying Star Wars for the second half of the show. But since we've got so much Bruce on the Loose, our second half will be covering that. Uh-oh, what just happened? Oh, no, never mind. That was my machine. Um, uh, but so, but I was planning on transitioning into the musical segment with intermission. So what I'm trying to say is the second half of intermission is a music video. So hopefully YouTube won't spank us too hard for that.
All right, let her rip.
But we'll be back in 5.
Spank me harder, Daddy.
Okay.
Guys, all right, guys. That is not working. Give me just 1 second here
Do you
while
have
I
the
try this
music
one more
video?
time. All right, I do not understand why that's not working. Stall for just a second for me, guys, while I
Okay.
upload
Do
this
you
once
have the
more.
music video I submitted? That one should be YouTube approved.
All
Here, I'll
right,
sing. I'll just sing. I was squawking in Memphis. He was squawking in Memphis.
all right. Something just went very wrong there.
Close the gate.
Let me.
Aquí. Bueno, comprendo.
Guys, I am having more problems now.
Oh.
Okay.
I am not sure what is going on. My screen says syncing, allocating some resources. Guys, tap dance for me while I hit refresh. Hang on.
Okay, I
Oh.
got this.
Yep.
I got this. Everybody, I am so sorry I missed several episodes, and thank everybody for their care and concern for me. It's unforeseeable difficulties, and I can only say I'm blessed by faithful friends and the audience. There's some things I'm just not at liberty to discuss right now because there's extenuating circumstances with it. I am in good health, and it's actually improving. It's amazing how much your mind has control of your body. And when you're down mentally, it's hard to get up physically. But we're walking tall. We're squawking again. Everything's gonna be okay because it has to be. Someday it's all got to be okay. But it's it lets you know who your friends are. When you're down and your friends are there, those are your friends. Your friends aren't always necessarily your buddies that, hey, we got common interests. They can be friends too, but your real friends are there when you need them.
We're
And
here
no
for
car
you.
is safe. No car is safe.
What?
Indeed.
Wax. Don't care. No
All
car is
right.
safe right now.
I think things are working again, but instead of running the intermission that won't run for me, I am going to take Norm's advice here and I am going to run the video that he put up. It is shorter though. So
Famous
we'll be
last
back.
words. I'm going to take Norm's advice. Okay.
Hold my
so,
beer. Hold my beer.
all
Turn
right,
your head and
let's see how
squawk.
this works.
In the cockpit of the Falcon, with his fur so wild, mighty crossbow rugged, saving friends with a smile. Pride for battle, though his gadget seems so old, Wookiee warrior's heart pure and bold. Chewbacca fierce through the night, with each growl we find our might. Side by side with Solo in the heights, loyal co-pilot shining bright. All tangled in tech, yet primitive it seems, from scrapyard to sky lanes, living his dreams. Curious eyes in the moonlit glow, navigating stars like a pro. Chewbacca fierce through the night, with each growl we find our might. Side by side with Solo in the heights, loyal co-pilot shining bright. All tangled in tech, yet primitive it seems, from scrapyard to sky lanes, living his dreams. Curious eyes in the moonlit glow, navigating stars like a pro. Chewbacca fierce through the night, with each growl we find our might. Side by side with Solo in the heights, loyal co-pilot shining bright. In a world of lasers and lights so blinding, Chewie's courage ever finding. Every hero needs a loyal beast, fur and fury never cease. Legends of Kashyyyk whisper name, galactic battles staking claim. Haunting Chewbacca legends lore, through the cosmos they explore. Legends of Kashyyyk whisper name, galactic battle staking claim.
Somebody get this big walking carpet out of my way.
And we are back.
Yeah, Norm hasn't made it back yet.
Well, that's
That's all
you
right.
wanted us to play the short one, so
That's all right. He'll get there before you know it. But I don't know if Hawk got to see the other chats, but you've had people sending lots more love to you, Hawk.
Right on, right on.
Deep
Yeah, I
and
see.
all the others.
I can't jump chats because it'll sometimes it'll kick me out and I got to re-enter, and I'm just trying to hang on right now. But thank you all. Yes, it's good to be back.
Absolutely, yeah. So
all right. Well, Norm is back, so yeah, that was a good one, Norm. Just a little short for intermission, though.
Yeah. Oh well.
a couple of us made it back
Right.
just in time, Norm.
What?
You did.
Right. So yeah, I was looking
All
for
right,
a
well.
salted caramel whiskey I just got at the store. I can't find it. I think Kitty hid it for me, but it was salted
Keeping it for
caramel.
herself.
Probably. It was I got it half price because the label was put on upside down. I want to show you, but can't find it.
So we have a technical question for the two IT specialists. Spazzo Yeti wants to know: can AI change its voice yet?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Totally. I got a ton of things that can do that. The one I tried to use didn't work so well on the Mac, but apparently it's much better on the PC. It's called My iPhone Magic, or My Phone. I can't remember the name of it because I was kind of pissed when it didn't work for me on the Mac. Let me find it. And then AI has been able to change if you have audio, if you have a Pro Tools, uh, they've had autotune forever, uh, but they have also something called M pitch that will make anybody a rock star. I'm serious with you could sing so out of key and so wrong and tweak it. Uh, it's called I it's called My Phone Magic Mic app. Will change your voice live, by the way. This isn't something it'll change your voice live, which is one of the ones I found that it's a voice modulator. It will change your voice live. But if you have Pro Tools, you can use Autotune, and you have been able to use that for years now. But now they have M pitch on top of that. These are all subscription based, unfortunately.
Well, I can change your voice. Just turn your head and squawk.
Yeah, but things that will change your voice live is actually what people really want. But to change your voice after the fact is really easy too. So, but Pro Tools has been the audio editing, the DigiDesign, the same ones that did Avid when Avid was a big thing in Hollywood. But there's lots of stuff that can change your voice. I mean,
Well,
lots
yeah,
of.
the original intermission that I had lined up started with a Dark Brandon parody, Star
Mhm.
Wars parody, and of course the whole Biden voice was all AI generated.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, they have a Biden, the one I just mentioned, by my phone, uh, will do a Biden one. It will do all the politicians. It doesn't do all the movie stars because after the whole debacle in Hollywood, with that was part of the things they were fighting for is not to change your appearance or voice. And
Right, so you can't do an AI imagery of one
it,
one
yeah,
of the actors or
well,
actresses.
well,
our
I
voices too. Now,
yeah, I
they're
mentioned that a
yeah,
couple of years, a long time ago now,
yeah,
where
yeah,
I was using one of those online services. I used it to do the Wild World of Hats intro, and then when I went back to do another uh, spoof, all the celebrity voices were gone.
yeah,
All it had was generic voices now. It didn't have any
yeah,
celebrity voices anymore.
Wow.
yeah, and well, even those you can't do any cover songs, and if you type lyrics into one of those cover music things, it won't let you do the cover songs
Yeah,
anymore.
PC Native said, "Isn't there a modulator people use to catfish?"
Yeah, there was a yeah, but it there is an open source modulator still. You can do it probably at what's that one called? Um, the one I mentioned used to do it. Doesn't do it anymore. Um, but there are if you have the old plugins, you could still do it in that one, but they don't work on the Mac. There's another one called gosh, I want to say scripts.ai or box.ai. Um, there are a few of them still out there that have gotten under the radar, or just stuff you have to like really. They're not intuitive to configure or use, so you really have to work with them to make them that way. But there are modulators out there.
Yeah. Oh, that answers your question, PC Native. I hope you got that.
But that I've been working with these a lot, and I've been able to do amazing stuff. And then there's a point where it cuts it off, where they're like, "No, you can't do this anymore." But
Um,
there's a ways
so it
around it.
has its limitations.
Well, there's ways around it if you use an older computer or but the online stuff you can't if you can download it and configure it on your system. And sometimes you have to even use a older system, which you can do in a virtual machine if you don't have an older system lying around. unlike me and Cos that probably have a couple older systems around that could do it.
Cosmic's got quite a few older systems lying around. He's got a
But
whole building full of old systems lying around.
But I would still rather virtualize, but don't even get me started on VMware since Broadcom bought them. It's a mess now. But anyway,
yeah, VMware is
that's a big mess now.
Anyway. Oh yeah, but no, there's ways around it, but it's not intuitive or easy. You have to know what you're doing, basically.
There you go.
Or saved it back then, and a lot of times you have to save it back then when it was available. If you didn't do that, but all the online stuff, that it's kind of being locked down every day. Every day you look at it, it's like
I thought the internet was free. Damn it!
It's free to a certain extent, but it's not like yeah.
I'm busting chops, Norm. I'm busting your chops.
But yeah, it's possible, but not as easy as it used to be. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
Cosmic, do you have anything to add about that? But
no, that was plenty.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to roll into some Bruce on the Loose. So what do you say, Cosmac? And
that works for me. Tell me where you want to start. I got
I'm trying to see here. So
a whole bunch of video.
Yesterday there were 3 different festivals or fairs that were going on here out in the northern Florida region, and we started off at one that was an absolute bust. There were half a dozen vendors, and they pretty much all bought from each other, and we stayed there all of about 20 minutes, and then we hit the road and went on to the next festival, which is where I'm going to ask you to start with, Cosmac. Go to the oh wait, we had graduation for my nephew, but we don't need to get into that because that's just like a really long-winded video for not much reward. So let's go into the second video I posted up there, where we got to the Blueberry Festival.
All right, here is number 2.
So we went to the Island Grove. So we're here, as I turn around, at Island Grove's Blueberry Festival, and I hear music in the background. So we're gonna go check it out. So let's take a Bruce on the Loose down in Hawthorne, Florida. I had to think about that, guys, but here we go. So here is the Blueberry Festival. A lot of different vendors here. We got some food vendors over there, arts and crafts, things like this. This is the kind of stuff, you know, we could get involved with and do down here. This would be a lot of fun. Yep, there's the live music.
If she said that's the way it ought to be.
The 3BeerMen, I'm Bruce on the Loose.
I'm not hearing Bruce.
Well, that's probably because he's muted.
Yep, I was muted, of course. Oh, man. So that was the intro to the festival, us walking into it. And then I wanted to find out about the Island Grove Blueberry Festival. So I talked to a bunch of different people who really didn't want to be on camera. So I wound up getting a hold of the gentleman who is, quote unquote, in charge of that. And I'll explain that in a minute. But why don't you roll that next video footage about our good friend, or my new friend, Mike Newman.
All right, here we go.
Hi, I'm Bruce Q. Wayne, and I'm Bruce on the Loose for 3BeerMen, and I'm here with
Michael Newman.
Michael Newman, what is your position here at the Island Grove Blueberry Festival as of right now?
Right now, I'm in a lotus position.
A lotus position?
No, the truth of the matter is that I'm this year's president of the board of the Cross Creek Volunteer Fire Department, and we are at our annual Blueberry Festival fundraiser. We have an arrangement with Alachua County in the beautiful state of Florida to service Wapaloosa, Island Grove, and Cross Creek. We service a population of about 5,000 people, and so our fire department provides critical care for people's health, for fire suppression. And so what we do is every year we have a blueberry festival, and that allows us to buy the equipment that the firefighters need to be able to provide the highest level of service to our community.
Excellent.
Why are there rural fire stations? When you have a county as large as Alachua County, you have a lot of resources of which we're appreciative. But some far-flung rural areas could benefit from having their own rural fire stations. That means that we can have a very good response time in an area that by and large has a lot of retirees and folks who may or may not be able to drive themselves. And so our rural fire police department in Cross Creek allows us to have the most optimal response times for the folks in our community. And what we do is that we have an annual fundraiser. We have 50 plus vendors. We have 500 to 800 people come, and they donate through raffle prizes. They donate for buying to the vendors, and that allows us to buy the equipment that we need to provide the best service.
That's amazing. I love the fact that you're able to do a festival like this through the fire department, which is such an unrecognized source of importance in a town, community, or village of any kind. I get that. I have lots of family friends. My father was a fireman for the local, and he was a volunteer back in Long Island, New York. So we had volunteer firemen too. So like you guys, it takes a village.
Yeah.
And it means everything from fire and safety rescue to maybe even your own citizen police force in the neighborhood. But every community needs to support each other. Communities have gotten away from that over these last three generations. It's frustrating. You got your zillennials out there now that are just starting to come back to what us, as boomers, I guess you could say, understood years ago. They're starting to learn that now.
It's funny you should use the term boomers because we have some incredibly qualified firemen. And when you have somebody as a chief, Mike Jacobs, who has over 40 years experience, it really puts a pretty good spit shine on the generation boomer. So, and one of the things that I like about it, we moved up here about 8 years ago, and I got pressed into service pretty good. And if you hear me speak, you know that I like the sound of my own voice. And so I make a good spokesperson, and it's really kind of what it needs, but it's so down home here, it's so rural, and that's why I feel fortunate that these folks have embraced me.
That's what I love about this community, to find out that something like this has been going on. Sherry's mom, Nancy, explained to me that it started out as just a fall festival and then converted into what it is now today.
That's right.
So it was nice to get a little bit of that history from her. And thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us today. And
it's our pleasure.
Is there a website that anybody who wants to can go to help volunteer to your fire department, to your cause, to the Blueberry Festival?
Probably the best way to see us is on Facebook, and it is called the Island Grove Blueberry Festival.
Very good. And you do have a website as well for the Island Grove fruit festival?
We do, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll get those links to you guys. For 3BeerMen, I'm Bruce on the Loose, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Take care, guys. God bless.
Bye now.
So Mike is the spokesman for the Cross Creek County area, and they cover Island Grove and parts of Hawthorne in that area as volunteer firemen. And so this Blueberry Festival that they host every year for the last 32 years is pretty wild. I actually made some notes I just want to go back to. So the Blueberry Festival originally was in the fall, so it wasn't called the Blueberry Festival because blueberries weren't in season then. But back in 1992, they used it as a fundraiser for the Cross Creek Fire Department, which covers the Island Grove area. And They lasted about 8 years before they converted it to a springtime festival and then turned it into what is now known as the Blueberry Festival. So they really do have a lot of fun with it. We enjoyed ourselves immensely. We were there for quite a few hours before we moseyed on to the next event. But there is a young lady who's actually she's like the fourth or fifth generation of the family that actually owns that farm that is the blueberry farm that the festival takes place on, which is really cool. So why don't you run that next one for me? Hey guys, Bruce here on the loose for 3BeerMen, and I've got with me Sherry Thomas, and we're here at the Island Grove Blueberry Festival, and she's going to go into some details about this beautiful little shack that's being used as their sales desk, I guess you can say, where they're selling their blueberries, their jams, their preserves, everything that they make here for the Blueberry Festival. So I'm going to turn the camera around, I'm going to throw it over to Sherry and let her give me the details about this beautiful, ornate shack. Hello there, my dear.
Hi, how's it going? Years ago, when my dad retired from his job, he decided to put a blueberry field out here, and he wanted to build a structure to sell this from, and he decided to do it in old Florida cracker style. And so this is a new structure, but it looks very old because Florida is unforgiving.
Yes.
And so
the sun is brutal here.
Between the sun, the humidity, the rain, but these are all antiques. All of these things are antiques. This came from the old, I believe this old orange shop. This used to be an orange packing shop where they were.
And he repurposed the signs just for the motif, the aesthetics. I love all the tools on the side here.
Yeah.
These are great.
Yeah, so these plants are the vendors, but these are real tools. My dad's a bit of a collector.
Okay. Is it really an animal trap right there?
Probably.
Oh, yes it is. Look at that. One can only wonder how many animals it trapped.
Yeah.
These are great.
And so my dad's family, when they moved to the area...
Don't go too far, I'm trying to keep the mic near you.
Okay. When my dad's family moved to the area back in the early 1900s, they made their living raising cattle and on a fish camp in Cross Creek, which is right across the highway, utilizing Orange Lake and La Husa Lake. Their camp was on Orange Lake, and they actually, I think, have this original sign, which is over here.
Oh, look at that.
Fishing Resort. So that sign is probably 60 years old or more.
And I'm guessing your dad's name was Harry?
No, Harry was my mom's dad's name.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you named it after Grandpa? Your grandpa, your mother's father.
My dad probably just put that up there in honor of his father-in-law.
Gotcha.
Harry, because, you know, they were tight in general.
And then this behind us.
Something else he built. It was kind of
I mean, it
looks
looks like a hunting bluff.
That might be why he built it the way it looks.
Yeah, it's definitely got that hunting bluff vibe.
Yeah, he would just, at the time, it had like a sink and running water. And
okay.
So when people would pick the blueberries, this was a whole blueberry field out here where these cars are parked.
This was the blueberry field right here.
Yeah, he just kind of like on a whim decided to do a U-pick out here when he retired.
How long ago was that?
15 years ago or more.
15 years ago. So this was Dad's love project. This was his...
I don't know if it was a love project, but he just kind of figured out there wasn't you-pick blueberries for 30 miles in either direction and thought that he could make some money.
And did he make money?
He got into a business partnership with Mom's childhood friend who is kind of a descendant of a frenemy of Marjorie Rawlings.
So bloodlines go deep in the South here.
Yeah, so this frenemy of Marjorie Rawlings, Zelma Kaysen, that's who the blueberry farm that he runs now is named for.
Which is on the other side of this property?
It's down the road about a quarter of a mile.
Quarter of a mile down the road,
It's
okay.
called Aunt Zelma's.
Aunt Thelma's.
Yes, Zelma Kaysen was friendly with Marjorie Rawlings when she lived here, but she didn't like the way the locals were depicted. in her book, The Creek. So she sued her for defamation and won $100. Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, so
that's great.
Her, I think, great nephew and my dad did this blueberry farm based on my dad's success with this little blueberry patch, and they've been at it for a while. My dad does not love to sell blueberries, but
okay,
it's kind of sustainable.
So he's still involved with the blueberries on that side.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So he went to the competitor to.
Competitor?
Well, you said he became a partner after he started or before he started?
Oh, it wasn't really like a competitor. He did really well with this.
Okay.
And Terry, my mom's childhood friend, said, "Hey man, you're doing really well with this. What do you say we do it really like on a large scale?" And so we kind of abandoned this
and put everything into the farm
they
property
partnered together, and my dad ran it. And
so are you still involved with that, the family?
My dad is. Yeah, he's still doing that.
So much for retirement.
Exactly. He's pretty much everything he touches, he does really well. So, but he's working on selling it. So if anybody wants to buy a blueberry farm,
anybody wants to buy a blueberry farm, you heard it here first. And the name of that farm, please.
Aunt Zelma's.
Aunt Zelma's is up for sale if anybody wants to buy a blueberry farm. All right, guys. 3BeerMen, I'm Bruce Q. Wayne, and I'm Bruce on the Loose. We'll catch you later.
Yeah, there was so much more there on that property, and Thelma and Louise Blueberry Hill. Way to go, P. Dan. So yeah, it was actually a really nice place. I did not realize that was originally the first farm, but we did pass Aunt Selma's on the way out, and because we were stuck in the flow of traffic, I couldn't pull over quick enough to get some photos. But there's a huge sign right on the front lawn of before the fence going into the property that says Blueberry Farm for sale. So anybody interested in moving out to Florida and running a blueberry farm, there is one for sale. And at this point in their venture, I think they'd take it for a small penny. If you had a little bit of cash, you might be able to get it together and get yourself a blueberry farm. But we did walk some of the vending booths, and if you can go into the photos down at the bottom, I dropped a bunch new ones in there. This was a estate jewelry vendor. All they do is they buy jewelry out of estate sales or just wherever they can find it. And I just dropped a bunch of photos there. Some of them were really cool and reminded me of some of our podcast brothers and sisters. So I'll let Cosmic pull those up real quick from the Discord in the show chat, and then you can see. Do you have the ability to blow those up? I don't know if you can blow that up at all, but just some really cool pieces. I didn't get a chance to interview them, but it was a husband and wife team, and they had two of their dogs with them, and just really sweet people. And they had quite a bit of stuff. Why don't you go to the next one? They had earrings, they had charms, they had brooches, all kinds of tie tacks, I think is the next one. And some really cool pins. Shrink that one a little bit. There you go. You can see all the different tie tacks they have. They had like 3 or 4 more trays of tie tacks. Then they had the brooches, which is the next picture you can click on, which was an American flag brooch that I thought was really cool. I have so many different flag pins and brooches. I didn't pick this one up, but I do have a series of those types of flag pins and brooches. The next one, of course, reminded me of our good captain, Zoso Dude. And it was a pirate ship missing one of its little cubic zirconia plastic studs. But the next one after that reminded me of another dear friend of ours, the one I refer to as my friend Hoss, and that is the Texan. And those were a pair of Texas cowboy earrings for the cowgirl in your life. So really cool stuff. The next tray was a bunch of Christmas ornament style brooches and pins that were really cool. There's another tray of those, I think, in the next picture. But they had some really cool stuff. And Elvia spent about 40 minutes, and she could have spent another 4 hours going through all their trays. They had to have close to 600 trays on their big, inside their 10-foot tent on all these tables that literally surrounded them. And there's a couple of more cool pictures. Yeah, that's it. That's a nice one of all the trays. And just some really cool eclectic stuff. So that's what I like about these little festivals. You get to see all these booths and you get some really cool things out of them. We can go back to the Telegram for a second. There was a gentleman there that I just could not get enough of. I really admired this man. 75 years old, Ron Penrod, who is the next video I'm going to ask you to play. He fabricates lawn furniture, yard furniture, and he does bird feeders and squirrel feeders, which are really cool items. But you got to see this piece that I interviewed him on, because for the price he's charging, these things are worth twice that, if not 3 times that.
The hardest thing about bird feeders are squirrel proofing them, by the way.
Well, yes, and this gentleman has created something that you could put the bird feeder higher and the squirrel feeder below it. And the squirrels will go for the squirrel feeder before they go for the bird feeder. But why don't you roll that next video, Cosmac?
Hey guys, this is Bruce on the Loose for 3BeerMen, and I just met up with a very interesting gentleman. We're gonna have a conversation and talk about the history of the work that he does and what he does. So we're gonna turn around back to this piece here, and this amazing piece of yard furniture can be yours for a nice price, actually, a very nice price. And your name again, good sir?
Ron Penrod.
Ron Penrod. Now, Ron, you were starting to tell me that this was your therapy to do things like this, and the woodwork that you do.
Yes.
All right. And can you tell me, give me a little bit of the history of it?
Yeah, I've had 3 major back surgeries. I was working on a church in Jacksonville. We were putting up a new sanctuary, and I was the guy up on the very top unhooking the crane.
Oh my God.
And we were putting up 60-foot long trusses, 14 feet deep. We had 8 of them up, and they busted and dominoed over. And I fell over 30 feet.
Oh my God.
I made the fall. I don't think I'd have had a scratch. But the trusses came down
on top of you.
On top of me, and broke my back in 2 places.
Oh my God.
So it's been a process. And then I had major surgery in '95. And it was extensive. No, I was a pipe fitter at a mill.
Oh, you were a pipe fitter at a mill?
Yeah, and I developed asbestos, of course, 30 years later. We insulated a pipe with asbestos.
Yep.
And then I also have developed congestive heart.
Congestive heart failure, which you said you now have a defibrillator pacemaker combo.
And
God bless you.
We're treating that with medicine, and I seem to be doing okay with that.
May I ask your age?
I'm 70. I'll be 75 in July.
God bless you. 75.
Yeah.
You look good for 75, good sir.
I feel good, except for the pain.
Yeah, well, we all have a little bit of that.
But the Lord's blessed me. I'm a minister of the Word. And me and my wife had a nursing home ministry for over 20 years. We had a church and a large school bus, and we would go to 3 homes in a neighboring town and pick up 25 to 30 residents and bring them to church every Sunday.
That's awesome.
And then we would go into other nursing homes throughout the week. So we were in nursing homes 5-6 days a week. But we used our bus to take residents on outings.
Back and forth.
Took them different places, and we started in 1992, and it was unheard of to take somebody out of a nursing home. So we were kind of a pioneer in doing that. Now it's
become everyday fare.
Yeah, now it's required by the state.
You set the standards.
Yeah. So, and we did that for years, and then my back got to where I couldn't go much further, and we retired, but I kept preaching whenever I could and stayed in church, and now I'm back preaching every Sunday at the nursing home.
Excellent. Good for you. So God is good to you.
Yes.
Keeping you around here.
Yeah.
Giving you the opportunity to do something.
I just went to the doctor Thursday, and he informed me that arthritis in my neck, I had fusion there, but the arthritis has really developed, and he said I'm just one accident away from being totally paralyzed. And I'm okay. The Lord has sustained me through the years, and He'll sustain me now. I am going to go to a neurosurgeon and discuss, but I'm not planning on any surgeries. But it's all on the Lord. He sustains me, and He keeps me, and He blesses me. And I should be miserable, but
what's the point in being miserable? What's the point? There is no point.
No, there is not.
Positive energy,
yeah, exactly.
and that brings godly energy.
Yeah. And the Bible says that the joy of the Lord is our strength, and as long as I have His joy, I have the strength to maintain.
Amen.
I had to go to pain management, but I do very well. This is my therapy. It gets me out of the house, and
it's amazing what you do. The bird feeders, such an ingenious, simple way to make them. Build a little shelter, put a giant long screw through the middle, and then you can screw the corn cob on it, or the piercing of the corn muffins, and you could even give them apples if you wanted to. You could anything you can skewer. I love the concept. You did a phenomenal job.
I tell people, they say, "Oh, you're so creative," and I said, "Well, the reason that is because the Bible says that we're created in the image of our God, and therefore we take on His characteristics. And He being the ultimate creator, we take that. That's why we have people in space. That's why we have microwave ovens. That's why we have cars that talk to us. But I take great joy and great pride when I'm in the garage working, because I'm taking on the image of my God. My life has been very good.
Amen.
And I went to my pain management for the very first time, and I had a real young girl. Well, I think she's just out of college, and I told her, I said, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I said, but I've been dealing with this chronic pain for 32 years, and I really don't need somebody to tell me how to manage my pain. She laughed. I said, there's two things that you have to do. I said, you have to get a good night's sleep. And I said, my doctor prior to this had me on a good sleeping aid and non-habit for me. And I said, number two, you got to laugh and smile.
Amen.
And I said, when you're in pain and you can still laugh and smile, you got to beat.
Absolutely.
And I said, so that's my basis in life. And I said, I tell her the joy of the Lord's my strength.
Amen.
And I says, as long as I can laugh and smile and serve the Lord, I'm okay.
There you go. So, God bless.
Yep.
Ron, an absolute pleasure to take the time to talk with you today. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
I'm Bruce on the Loose for 3BeerMen, and this is Ron Penrod, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out from Batman.
Really interesting guy, runs a ministry, does all kinds of God's work, and then still finds time to make these amazing yard furniture pieces. It looks like a breakfast nook, but it's a raised platform, wrought iron. He does all the welding himself. The chairs swivel. They swivel in and out both ways. And then he's got a lantern coming up above it so that it comes out. And if you can get to, I don't know if you can go back to the video and stop it at that one segment where I actually scan it. I did take pictures of it. I'll be damned if I could find them. I was trying to send them to you earlier.
Hey guys, this is Bruce on the
Couldn't locate them. but it's at the very beginning. If you can just go back to the,
Well,
there it is, right
I
there.
okay.
And so the table is hardwood, varnished and finished. The chairs swivel in and out, and then you can see the lantern right there just above his hands. But look at that. That's all one big giant piece that you could put under your lanai, or you could put by your poolside. Um, Absolutely amazing piece. And he only gets like $300 a piece for these things. And I was blown away by the price because as soon as I asked him if this piece itself was for sale, he says, "Oh, this is already sold, and I've got 4 more orders backing it up." So I put an order in with him for mine. At 75 years old, this man is still doing this as a release of his stress and his pain. He doesn't feel the pain when he's working on things like this, or his bird houses, or his bird feeders, or his squirrel feeders, which I also had pictures of but cannot find at this time. But they were real interesting. And the bird feeder, which I thought was ingenious, was just a very simple roofing on a back panel with a board that stuck out like a shelf, probably about 3 to 4 inches. And then he had these long screws that he screwed in from the bottom. And then you could screw a corn cob onto the screw. And he had about 4 of them lined up in a row. So you could put 4 giant corn cobs on this bird feeder at one time and let the birds go to town on it. And then the squirrel feeder was similar in design, but instead it had 2 squirrels silhouetted facing each other, and their stomachs were cut out, and where the giant nut was also cut out in the middle. And he took a shish kebab skewer and put it through the center of the wood going through their stomachs, which was the cutout, and had muffins in between each of the 3 holes for the squirrels to take. And he said you put the bird feeder up high and you put the squirrel feeder just below it, and the squirrels leave the bird feeder alone, even if they run out of muffins, because they're still trying to get to it. And they can't get above the canopy to get to the next one above it. So he really did a nice job. And like I said, he's doing this strictly for pain management. He says, I throw myself into my work and I don't really think about the pain, and he gets them done. He doesn't want to produce mass quantities. I actually, Cosmac, I took a lesson right out of your book, and I offered to sponsor him in a way that would generate enough money, because those pieces he made could easily sell for $500 to $1,000 without even batting an eyelash. The amount of work he puts into them, and he gives them away for next to nothing. But like I said, he's doing it for himself. He's not doing it for a profit. He's doing it for pain management because he enjoys doing that kind of work.
Therapy to keep your mind occupied with something.
It's exactly, he said it's therapy for him. It is his therapy.
But I keep my mind occupied when I'm making my hats or beanies or whatever. And
exactly.
But keeping your mind occupied off of something other than, my mind races and does all sorts of things.
Well, that happens with us autists all the time.
But I completely understand that, because I have a bag of hats that I can't give away because it'd be more expensive for me to ship them out.
Do yourself a favor and put them.
I wouldn't want to sell them, but
do yourself a favor and put them up on eBay, Facebook, Marketplace, or even Etsy.com.
I don't have any of those.
You could put them up right here on Pill.net. If you took pictures of them, I guarantee you, hand knitted hats. I have 2 of them, people, and they are warm and cozy, and they are amazing.
I sent you, but that was like 5 years ago. But
easily, and they're in my winter hat bag box.
And I just gave those to you, but
you did.
This is before me and Bruce really knew each other over 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to talk more about the squirrel fattening devices, because that's a bird feeder as far as I'm concerned.
It certainly was. But he's got some really cool stuff.
Oh,
And then his buddy, who I didn't get a chance to interview because he was already closing down the tent, also did a bunch of stuff. He had birdhouses and that swinging the rocking chair, the rocking bench that was behind us. That was his partner's. The stuff that was all finished off and shellacked and varnished and all that was Ron's, but his other partner, they just did some really cool, easygoing stuff, and it was unfinished. So you'd have to finish it, or you get somebody to finish it for you. So a lot of his partner's stuff was all raw wood, just needed to be varnished or shellacked or stained.
or shabby
But
chic. Shabby chic is the
shabby
word.
chic, yeah, you can. But like Sherry from the Blueberry Festival said, the Florida sun and the Florida weather is unforgiving, and we have the same problem here in the Gainesville house. Is that if we leave any of the chairs out in the sun for too long, they get destroyed. So we pull everything back under the lanai before we close up for the night. You know, just so it doesn't get too beat up and brutalized by the sun and the weather.
And I do want to mention that Zozo Dude gifted us a can and said he won't be streaming tonight.
Yeah, he's got
I,
some things going on back home that he's got to finish. So
he
unfortunately, he will
broadcast
not be going live tonight.
all afternoon, so I don't blame him. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
he
he's
just
got to take care of some stuff around the house.
yeah.
Mrs. Zoso dude is on his case now to get shit done. So he like I said, he's been streaming all day. He sent us our first raid, Drunk Pinata the second raid, which we thank you for. God bless you all. And carrying on, you know. So
We have enough people to raid if we need to. So
there you go.
Well,
Absolutely.
let me just quick throw this out there since Zoso isn't going to be live tonight. Madness Comic Network on Pilled, Madness Entertainment Group over on YouTube, has a really, really good interview coming up tonight at 10 o'clock with Mal and Tav from Atomic Annie. Atomic Annie is a great independent group. If you haven't listened to them, look them up. Atomic Annie. And Mal and Tav from Atomic Annie will be doing an interview with Madness tonight at 10 o'clock. Madness Comic Network on Pilled, Madness Entertainment Group on the YouTube. And of course, don't forget Val's debut. He is dropping his new song at 11:30.
so that
Very cool.
what time is that for us East Coast folk or West Coast folk for you East Coast people?
6 p.m. big avocado time.
It's 10. I thought that was 9.
I'm sorry, 7 o'clock avocado time. You're
I was
right. I
asking.
apologize.
I was asking Cosmac because he might know. But, okay.
Yeah, I've met
All
the
right, all right, all
Atomic
right.
Anime,
Yeah.
Atomic Annie crew before.
Say that
They've been,
again.
I'm familiar with the Atomic Annie crew. They've been around for a minute. They do some really good music.
There's some really good little images, and I was like,
Isn't there an animated cartoon also called Atomic Annie, if I'm not mistaken?
There might be, but the name originates from a conventional firing of an atomic weapon, like out of they used a cannon to make a atomic shell projectile.
Tactical
That's where
battlefield nuclear weapon. Yeah.
Yes.
Atomic Annie. Yep.
Yeah, that's where the name originates.
and atomic, yeah, nuclear.
Very cool.
A kinetic projectile that is actually an atomic warhead, I think would be.
Wow.
Well, tonight
Shot out of the
is
cannon.
your opportunity to
nuclear
meet
gun.
the members of Atomic Annie at 10 o'clock Eastern on the Madness Comic Network.
So we'll be rating Madness Comic Network after our show tonight.
Well, if we're around for another hour and 50 minutes, yeah.
If we
Yeah.
last that
See
long,
if I
yeah.
run out of root beer before then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, So there was another vendor here at this Blueberry Festival that I really liked his work, and you can roll that next video. There was supposed to be 2 parts to this video, but my phone died before I got the chance to get the second video completed, and it erased it before I could save it. So I'll let you roll the next one. And there are some photos to go with.
Hey guys, this is Bruce on the loose for 3BeerMen, and I just met up with a very interesting gentleman. And we're gonna have a conversation and talk about the history of the work that he does and what he does. So we're gonna turn around back to this piece here, and this amazing piece of yard furniture can be yours for a Hey guys, this is Bruce on the loose for 3BeerMen, and I just met up with a very interesting gentleman.
One below this.
We're going to have
the American flag.
Have a conversation and talk about
American flag video.
The work that he does and
just
what he does.
Just above this one. Oh, yeah, did that not go through? Son of a gun!
I don't think it did.
It did not go through. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So then go to the pictures if you can and find the American flags that are made out of wood. On the Discord side. I'm sorry. Son of a bitch. I just realized there was a that's annoying. It did not go through, so I apologize.
That explains why I couldn't find it.
Yeah. So this is Dave, and Dave and his family do these festivals locally within an hour of where he lives. And this is what he does. He makes American flags out of wood, and he does all different kinds. You can go to the next picture. This one was the Pledge of Allegiance, which was really cool. This one is a Florida Gators, and so those stripes are orange, not red, because the Florida Gators are orange and blue. And then the next one below that, if you go to the next one, this one is actually shelved. So it's an American flag decor that hangs on the wall that acts as a shelving unit for your challenge coins. And one of the videos that I was in the middle of taking was showing you the grooves in each of the shelves so that your challenge coins will sit on this American flag and just have a slight tilt to them, but you can see them broad as daylight, clear as day on these shelves. And Dave's got a website and an email address, but he said his daughter's working on the website. So the website's not quite finished yet, but his daughter is working on it. And anybody interested in purchasing any of Dave's stuff, please let me know. And I have his business card and we will get it out there. Dave, if you're out there listening, I apologize. The video jammed up and did not go through. So I gave a bunch of people the pill.net website address and the 3beermen.tv website address. So if you're out there listening, folks, from any of these festivals I visited, Sherry or Mike or any of you guys out there, thank you for entertaining me and allowing me to videotape you guys and put you up here. Now, as far as festivals go, after this festival, what did that say? I'm sorry. I missed that one, Kaz.
It was just John Rogers saying he has something like that he ordered from Georgia.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, they're down in Ocala area. So if you want something mailed, they can mail it to you as well. But if you do want something like this, reach out to me and I'll put you in touch with Dave. I have his card. The next pictures below that take us into Star Wars Celebration at Bo Diddley Plaza here in Gainesville, Florida. And you'll see me and a Jedi squaring off. There we are. So this is one of the cosplayers that was at the event. And we've got some shorts and video shorts for it, if you want to break into that.
That was a real short.
That was real short. Yeah, like I said, they're only... So there were a lot of cosplayers there, and there were a lot of kids with their lightsabers, and they had a lightsaber training seminar for the kids, and then they turned them loose. And then they had some cute banter back and forth with some of the cosplayers where they reenacted some of the scenes. And then they went from that into showing at 8 o'clock at night, they started The Empire Strikes Back, which was really cool. So we got to see that as well last night in honor of May the 4th be with you, or Return of the 6th. Or no, what was it? Revenge of the 5th and Return of the 6th. So the 6th.
Yeah,
so we've got
Revenge
3
of
days
the
of
Sith.
Star Wars celebrations, and they started a day earlier on Saturday.
Yeah, that was another one of our. I missed mentioning that in our pop culture segment when we were talking about how dismal the movies were. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith came out last weekend and did better than all the other movies that were in the theater.
And there it is. There's the T-shirt Norm's wearing.
Yeah.
I was muted. Sith Lord, yeah.
Yep. It's all good. It's all good. And then there's just a bunch of small videos of the kids bantering and playing around. But then if you go, there you go. Like I said, they're quick. They're really quick.
The dark side will rule this day because you have no one. Like always, I know you're from the Jedi. But we are not alone. Youngling, get down to the floor.
So they bring all the kids up onto the stage and they make them use the Force. It was cool.
Your Republic Marshal, Jax Rakon. That's right, you may have seen me on the holovids. Smoke me a pork, I'll be back in the morning.
So then I had the opportunity to walk the booths that were there, and they weren't Star Wars themed, but they were really cool, unique booths. And I got a chance to interview this young lady who makes jewelry out of silverware. And that's the next video, Cosmac. It's like it's almost 6.5 minutes long. If you want to grab
You're
that.
going to fill out a survey, let us know how we're doing. That'd be great. If you go over and fill out a survey, you get a free sticker. That's right, free sticker.
Yeah, it's not these ones either.
Side, it seems that our Padawans have
How far down, Bruce?
Let's see. I'm trying to see where that is. Go past all the Star Wars videos and you see the ring.
Oh,
next.
Sounds. Okay.
Go to the next.
Oops, wait.
Nope, that was graduation.
Hey, guys. Bruce
That's
on the loose
last
here
one
for
I
3
got.
beer.
This is the last one I have, Bruce. I think you sent me something later that showed up on my phone, but that was after I was already in front of the machine.
It hit you at 5:51.
That would be this one.
And we are at, one more time, I'm sorry, Candy.
This is the City of Gainesville Star Wars Day.
The City of Gainesville Star Wars Day. We're here now. We've been going to festivals all day today, and we landed here tonight, which was my end goal, because they're going to be showing on the big screen Empire Strikes Back tonight. So we're going to be sitting here in Bo Diddley Plaza here in Gainesville, Florida. But right now I'm going to introduce you to a wonderful young lady who does some very unique artwork with spoons. So give me a second here to turn the camera around. And how you doing, Candy?
I'm good, thank you.
Tell me a little bit about what you do here with your booth.
So I make jewelry out of antique silverware that I find while I'm traveling. I try to preserve the spoon and make it a piece that you can wear and love. I try to find specifically from 1900 to about 1960, just because the designs are just, I don't know.
Unique and interesting, right? It's the avant-garde, it's the Art Deco eras, it's those types of periods that you look for when you buy your rings, you buy your material.
Super comforting too. remind you of a loved one, a grandmother, or an aunt. You know, something that might be special to you.
You do custom work as well?
I do.
So if somebody brought you some spoons or forks or something with a handle, you could turn it into a piece of art?
Yes.
Excellent. Very good. And these up here, can you describe what you did with these here? This looks like a spoon that was...
That's the bowl of the spoon. I just wanted to create some different pieces that might appeal to, a different taste.
Brett and...
That's amazing. I love what you do with your art.
Thank you.
And then you said you'd bought... Of course, being a New Yorker, I found a piece that we're going to... I'm going to have to work out a deal with you on, because between that and the money clip, I'd like to pick those up tonight. But she bought an entire collection. Tell me about that, please, of all the different states.
Yes, this was from an estate sale. I was able to get the 50 states. These were made in 1915.
And these were all spoons?
Yes, all spoons.
Now, spoons are a big collectible item as a souvenir.
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, these were just souvenir pieces. And instead of just sitting in a box, though, I thought, why not make some jewelry out of it that you can wear all the time?
And this is stuff you've been working on right here?
I just made these. These are my oldest pieces that I have. These are from 1847. I'm tagging them.
Your fingernails are an actual distraction to the picture, because those are great. Do you do your own nails?
I do not. I have a friend who is a nail technician. Her name's Caitlin, and she's local to Gainesville.
Very good. So guys, if you're in Gainesville and you want to get your nails done, go see Caitlin at...
Rooted Elements is the salon that she works at.
One more time.
Rooted Elements.
Rooted Elements. Very good. Very good. And you want to ask for Caitlin. These rings are just amazing. I love the fact that these are all handles of spoons that you found, and the fact that you go back.
I just paused that, Norm, so you can...
Some of those look like cigar bands, by the way.
But no, they're all spoons. Like, she has a specific era that she works in, and she'll buy them. And Deepak was just saying she's got a bunch of spoons that she would be more than happy to sell her. And Deepak, if you're serious and you've got the era of spoons that she's looking for, I have her number. I'll get you in touch with her as well. Actually, her card is in the video.
I also want to thank Just Jim for the 104 gold pills, bringing us up to a palindrome of 2,332 gold bills, making it a palindrome. Just Jim, I'm sorry I didn't answer your call last night. I was sleeping, actually, when you called me after 12.
All right.
But
on with Bruce.
But yeah, go.
And you specifically look for certain years in jewelry or in silverware. Now, do you work in silver as well, or are these silver, or any of them silver?
Some of them are silver. Some of them are silver plated.
How does that work with the silver plating? Is it harder to bend the silver plated ones?
It can be.
Okay.
Each one is honestly just very unique in their own.
They are, and I love the fact that you've turned them into a piece of jewelry. There's another one here. Wow, this one's intriguing.
That is a really special one. That one's from 1923. It's called the Birds of Paradise, and it's just a very desirable collection.
That's amazing. And you'd be paying $40 for a size 9, and it's the only one she's got in stock. Birds of Paradise. Beautifully ornate, and you've kept and preserved the imprint very well. I love that. Do you find some spoons don't bend as easily as others, and that you lose some of the visual art, the effects?
Yes. So I am particular about which ones I purchase because of that.
Gotcha. Jewelry designer with a sense of style, class, and good taste. Very cool.
That's one thing she's very specific about, is that if the pieces don't fit within her era, she won't work on them unless you're asking her to customize a piece for you. She only buys silverware from those earlier vintage eras. Like she said, I think the 50s are like the latest that she would be able to go to.
Whether or not it was real silver.
TL Spuds is quoting Matrix right now.
Yeah, the spoon. But
There is no spoon.
Yeah. Whether or not it was real silver was a big thing back then, because the Germans figured out how to tarnish metal to look like silver. It was called
Well,
German.
they would silver. There is stuff that's silver coated, and I asked her about that further into the video, and yeah.
And these spoons here, these are samples of what you usually look for?
Yes. At one point in time, I had a ring made, and I would keep them beside each other. The ring with the spoon. But over time, I've sold them, and I've not come across. Especially this last year, it's become harder to find these types of spoons organically. Honestly, from what I'm being told, when a loved one passes away, people go in and get the valuables. They scrap them for their metal content.
I know a friend of mine is an estate buyer, so I get it. And he winds up with some really unique pieces too. He's up in Rochester, New York. I could put you two together. I'm sure he would be more than happy to sell you a ton of his silverware. Very cool. Where can people find your art? Are you online anywhere?
So I have an Etsy, and I just usually use my Instagram.
Very good. And where is that? Is there a link to it somewhere here?
I have
on your card?
There's a card right there. Yeah.
Candy Crush Creations, guys. If you're interested in getting any of these unique pieces, I'm sure Candy will be happy to mail it to you. Reach out to her at shop@candycrushspoonring.etsy.com. So check her out, guys. Very cool. Bracelets as well. Money clips, which I am getting one of. And so just really cool, unique jewelry pieces. If you guys have like one of your grandparents' sets of silverware that you don't use anymore or you want to keep for yourself, maybe get a hold of Candy and see if she can make it into an heirloom piece for you and make you a ring that you can always remember your grandparents by. Guys, for 3BeerMen, I'm Bruce on the Loose, and thank you very much, guys. God bless. Have a great night.
Yeah, and it's wild because her boyfriend is with her, and they travel around a lot because he is a tattoo artist, and you had to see him. I mean, first off, he was a muscle-bound, jacked guy, and he had tattoos from his forehead down his chest, down his arms. Just as she was covered with tats, he was covered with tats. They had tattoos all over. And
Did you ask him about the ink, or
no, I didn't get a chance to, because as soon as I started to interview her, he didn't want any part of it. He kind of like backed off, and he went to go get something to eat or drink, and let her do the interview with me. So it was really cool. We had a really good time there. The guy who you see at the very end, right over my shoulder as I was signing off, was King Boba, who is I guess you'd call him oh my God, I'm drawing a blank right now because I'm so damn tired. Not a tagger, but a graffiti artist. This is the term I'm looking for. But his graffiti is done on some really unique and interesting stuff. He does graffiti on whatever medium he can find. He has lots of these old spray cans, so he's now turning them into decorative pieces of art, and he's painting on the cans, the empty cans, and selling those as part of his wares. I think those pictures are in Elvia's phone, because, like I said, my phone died early yesterday, and I had such trouble. I had to take the phone and charge it up at the truck and leave the truck running while we were walking around the booths, which I wasn't very comfortable doing. But there was a policeman 2 cars away, so I kind of like clued him in what I was doing and left the car there and went back to the festival with Elvia and walked around some more till it charged up the batteries enough to get some of the footage. But
In a song. My phone was dying, so I went back to
well, there you go, Norm. You
charge
got
it
a
up,
song that you're going to do in
charge
AI
it
now.
up.
Let's hear it.
I don't do AI song. Okay, a lot of people really get that. Kind
AI generate, not AI generated songs.
I actually sing the songs.
Yes, yeah. Well, you have the AI assist you in writing them, don't you?
Just it's algorithms. It's not.
Okay.
It's not it. Okay.
Norm assists the AI. The AI does not assist Norm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, exactly.
Norm is the Chuck Norris of AI artists. AI doesn't assist Norm. Norm assists the AI.
Yes.
Love it. There you go. Yeah, so we had a lot of fun yesterday, and then we did another festival today. But this time we were actually in the festival. Elvia set up a booth, and I'm beyond exhausted, and I'm barely keeping my eyes open now. I'm surprised I don't have toothpicks holding them open, like what's that
Clockwork
movie?
Orange.
Clockwork. Thank you, Clockwork Orange. Yes. So,
Alec. Yeah.
Alex, right. That
Alex.
being said, Cosmac, we still have some time, and you had some cooking segments that you may want to tap into, or
Well,
did you want to hold those off?
Still have time is relative. We were originally trying to stall until 9:30 to get to Zoso Dude, but Zoso Dude is now not going live tonight.
Right.
So the next event coming up is all the way at 10 o'clock, which is almost an hour from now, which is Madness Comic Network and Atomic Annie. So I could easily fill that time with the parody music that we were going to play. I would drop YouTube in that particular case. We don't have a lot of people watching, but there are 6 people watching over there. But I would encourage everybody over there to come over and watch us on Pilled or one of the other outlets.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe drop the link out there, Cosmac. If you could drop the build link in the YouTube channel for the 6 of them that are watching over there, that maybe they can grab that link. You do not have to register. You don't have to become a member, although you should. You know, pill.net is probably one of the fastest growing platforms out there in free speech, and we love it. You know, this is where we got our start, and this is where our heart belongs.
We beta tested the chat, by the way.
I'm sorry?
We beta tested the chat. We did.
Yes, we beta tested.
We came here before the chat even existed here, and we were told to try to break it.
Exactly.
If you remember our first shows, we were told try to break this chat, and we did actually.
I don't remember that we did, but I knew we had fun with it for sure.
Do you remember Cos? Do you remember that?
Yep. And now it has come all the way around. Matt 1776, one of the Matts over at Pilled, was on the Foxhole Squares last night. And actually, when we had a technical glitch during the squares, Matt was able to jump in behind the scenes and keep Pilled connected so that it didn't time out and go to the next channel until we were able to get the problem fixed. So
that's awesome.
Matt is fantastic. Thank you to Matt 1776 and to both of the Matts at Pilled and all the folks over at Pilled for giving us a great platform that we can express ourselves freely on.
And thank you to Sandra at Coffee Talk with Sandra for sponsoring and hosting Foxhole Squared every Saturday night. You can catch Zoso Dude and Cosmic Grandpa and some of the other regulars And then you've got
Enoch
guests.
and Neo and Belushi. Graham Belushi is our star. He's our center square. It's a great show. If you liked the old Hollywood Squares with Peter Marshall and Wally Cox and Charlie Weaver and Paul Lynde, you will absolutely love the Foxhole Squares.
And thank you to Jim for the 110 gold bills. I will not read your comment.
Okay.
I'll put it up on the screen so everyone else can read it. So it's all right. Well, with that, then let's wave out everybody good night over on YouTube, and we'll say good night. And that way, we don't have to worry about being constrained. But basically, what we're doing here, the reason why we're waving goodbye to everybody on YouTube is because we're going to run the show for another 45 minutes so that we can send a raid over on Pilled over to to Madness Comic Network, who will be interviewing Atomic Annie. And we definitely want you all to go over there and tune in for that. So good night to YouTube. You are leaving us right now.